When you are in the client's record, you have several different screens to look up more details about this client. Let's look at View Account first. It will automatically take you to Activity Pending Invoice. There are three other screens: Ledger, Auto Invoice List, and Previous Invoices. So if you have any uninvoiced activity, any visits that are coming up, you will find them under Activity Pending Invoice. Here are the visits. They can be deleted, they can be modified, they can be invoiced. If you were to auto invoice them, right now you have just activity pending invoice. You have nothing under auto invoice list. If you were to auto invoice the visits, then they will show up in gray under activity pending invoice so that you know that they are scheduled to be invoiced, and they will be modifiable on the auto invoice list. And you can modify them by either clicking on each visit and making changes and click submit, or you can just remove them from the uninvoiced schedule. They will go back to activity pending invoice. You can make all the changes so that you can send confirmations to the client and to the sitter. If you were to invoice them manually, like here we have the visits under activity pending invoice, I click them into I click on invoice selected, so they move from here to the invoices list. Now we have an invoice with a $138 balance, which you can view and print. You can send by email to the customer. You can uninvoice to move it back to activity pending invoice, or you can edit it if you want to zero out any fees, or if you want to put a note here. Now we need to go look at one more thing: Ledger. Ledger is where you would manually post a payment. As we have already discussed, the payments are usually show up under process payments here. And let's find the client that we were just talking about, Olga Wharton, for $138. And you can either pay manually or pay selected and auto pay it, or you can just mark it out as paid and it will enter the payment, zero out the invoice, and move the customer out of the process payments queue. Let's go ahead and go back to this ledger screen. You can also, if you don't want to send an invoice to the customer, for example, you will zero out this balance manually. You click on New Transaction, Transaction Date, Amount 138. It's a payment, it's a check, and you need to match it up with the invoice so that it applies it towards this invoice. And you post the transaction. So this is I think this is all we need to cover about the account. Yep, that's it.